Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sure, I'm going to leave a like, comment, let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, the first episode post-Survivor Series, we are now on the road to John Cena's retirement, which is next week, and boy, it is really starting to feel real. And, you know, there was a lot of talk about this episode. Triple H said this episode of Monday Night Raw was going to be epic, which, of course, caused a lot of controversy online. Well, not controversy, just a lot of people going, well, he never means it when they do it. Like, he never lives up to that title. I'm just like, he's a booker. He's a promoter. What else do you expect him to do? Yeah, we just had all of these crazy angles. Monday Night Raw is going to be okay. So, like, when he says a show is going to be epic, I kind of always take it with a grain of salt. I'm just like, yeah, you know, promoters are going to promote. You know, it's like when these promoters, like Paul Levesque, Triple H, or Tony Khan, or anyone else goes, we have a huge announcement coming. Then you hear the announcement and you're just like, this could have been an email. That's just what they do. But I will say, this is one of the better Raws that we've had for maybe the whole entire year. I thought every segment, for the most part, really delivered. Some things fell a little bit short. Well, only really one thing, really. I think Stephanie Becerra, the segment, is the only one where I'm like, okay. Because she just beat Nikki Bella. She's coming off of her second title defense. And I know we did the tease with Liv Morgan, which, yeah, we probably should do for that January 5th episode. I think we're going to really bolster that episode for the first Raw of the new year. Maybe we're going to do the same for the first SmackDown of the year, which would be the 3rd. Since, you know, we have until the 20th for the Saturday night's main event. And then we have the 31st for the Royal Rumble. And for some reason, we have to do these big events every 3 weeks. I think 4 is my preferred, but hey, we are here. And, you know, on the 5th, we're going to do Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. Maybe we can do Stephanie Becerra versus Liv Morgan for that women's world title on that episode as well. But again, overall, it was just really short. Like, yes, I beat Nikki, and I'm going to prove that if anyone gets in my way, I am going to hurt him no matter what. It's just, I've seen this babyface promo multiple times. It was backstage, giving me PTSD to the Tiffany Stratton era of her being women's champion. I feel like she couldn't get into the ring whatsoever. Let's just get Stephanie Becerra out there in front of the crowd. The people love her. I think her promos are very endearing. I know there's some people who have issues with the English. I think her English is just fine. And I also really like how, you know, she starts English and then she goes to Spanish and then she finishes in English. Again, and her promos overall are just very endearing. We actually let her talk and actually give her some space to actually play with that. Let her do it. Again, she's your world champion on Monday nights. If you cannot trust her to do full-on promos, then don't make her champion. And I think Stephanie Becerra is ready for that. But yeah, that is the only thing that I really wasn't the hugest fan of. I think everything else on the show really just out of the park. Really just hit it on all strides. The 2 last time is now semifinals matches. LA Knight versus Jey Uso was a lot of fun. Jey Uso, again, proving he can wrestle. I don't know why people think he can't. I think Jey Uso has had a great 2025, and I like everything we did afterwards. It's just about the aftermath of it, on what we do. I heard that the plan is to do Roman versus Cody round 3 at WrestleMania. And there is a lot of intrigue within that because, you know, they are split 1-1 at WrestleMania. So a rubber match is needed, right? Also, in both of those matches, there was heavy outside interference. Now that they're both baby faces and this could be truly mano-a-mano, who is really the best, now there will be no outside noise. There is intrigue there. To me, it just feels a little too soon to do that. What I would do for WrestleMania, I think the program should be Roman versus Jey, where Jey finally does tweak and he's like, I can't fully believe in myself until I beat you. And there are some ways to do it where Jey can still have those shades of gray, because when he had the crash out after he lost to LA Knight, which I wanted LA Knight to win, I wasn't expecting LA Knight to win. I really thought we were going to do Jey versus Gunther round, what would have been 5 at this point, or would have been 6. They fought each other quite a bit. when he hit that spear, he hit the frog splash. 1, 2, surprise roll up. 1, 2, 3. Only surprise roll up on the show. Really appreciated that. And then he does the crash out. Again, there was just a lot of intrigue when we were going into it. And then, of course, Gunther versus Solo for heel versus heel. That was amazing. I think it was the best match of the night, in all honesty. I thought they complement each other very well. I think they had very good ring chemistry. I liked everything we did at the end over there, where Solo was like, okay, I'm going to attempt to cheat, and that the ref was like, you know what, no, we're not going to do a DQ, because John Cena's going to want the integrity of the match. Throw him in, and then Gunther's like, F if you're going to cheat, I'm going to cheat too. Kicks him in the groin. 1, 2, 3. Picks up Solo like he was a freaking baby, and Solo is not a little dude. It was just true big men bumping man meat all the way through that from bell to bell. I just had a really good time watching that, and I really didn't think anything was going to top our World Tag Team title match. Very good setting foundation for AJ. I mean, it is technically AJ Lee. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking on the New Day. Very fun match between them two. One of the most creative finishes that I've seen in quite some time, where, who was it? Was it Kofi? Kofi on the rope, Dragon Lee jumping off, hitting him. He bounces off into the Styles Clash. Very, very creative stuff. And again, those four had very good chemistry too. Like, look, we know we need to reevaluate this, rethrive this division. Let's just put it all out there. And then next week we're getting the War Raiders versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. As long as the match quality keeps going, y'all know me. I've said this when they won it. I am not against that. Hey, if we have open United States titles matches on SmackDown, one-on-ones, I don't mind open challenges for the World Tag Team titles to reevaluate it and just bring in some new life when it comes to it, so we can have two decent divisions all the way through when it comes to the men's tag team divisions. Very, very good stuff. I mean, all of the in-ring work was really, really good on this show. What else was on it match-wise? There was the main event. We're going to save that for the end. Was that it? We had the two Last Time Is Now matches. We had the World Tag Team title match. I can't recall anything else that happened on the show match-wise. But yeah, now we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the main event scene, because that was the one that was the only one that was... no, let's get to the Vision first with Braun Breaker, who finally really arrived on this promo. I would have liked it for just because I'm really cheesy. So, thank God I'm not a writer for WWE, right? Because I do think this was Braun Breaker's best promo. It really did feel like they said, hey, we'll give you an open mic. Sink or swim. It really did feel that way, because it got confirmed, which they should have. They go to Adam Pearce's office. Hey, my boy pinned your World Heavyweight Champion. Let's talk about a match here. And it got confirmed. January 5th, first Raw of 2026. Punk versus Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. Lot of discussion that, Breaker should just win. And I am on the outskirts of like, man, maybe we should wait a little bit. It is only because of this. Braun Breaker, for all intents and purposes, he is truly the next of kin, right? He is going to be Cody Rhodes at some point as the face of the company, or Roman Reigns. For someone like that, if you're going to correlate them, I would not correlate them on a Monday Night Raw. I would correlate them at a WrestleMania, preferably, or at one of the other big four, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or a SummerSlam, right? Now, if they do decide to change the belt on that night, I'm not going to complain. I'm actually be really excited for that, because again, it's fresh blood, it's something new, so on and so forth, right? But I would say if this was a Bronson Reed in this position, who, no disrespect to him, but who is not seen as the next of kin, who is going to be the face of the company, a good hand for sure is going to be a big threat. Kind of see him as like an Undertaker type, right? Where, he's just a monster. Everyone knows him. Like, Braun Breaker's the person who gets you into wrestling because they're the face of the company. But as you get more into the nitty-gritty, you kind of shift over your favorite to be a Bronson Reed, right? Like how, was for most of us. John Cena got us in, but then we found The Undertaker. That was my road anyway. No, Undertaker always got me in. But for most people, that was their road, is what I'm trying to say. If it was Bronson Reed in the spot, hell yeah, crown him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Braun Breaker is the only one where I have some hesitation on it, just because, again, see him as the next of kin. You save him to correlate him at one of the big 4 shows. But yeah, his promo was really good. I really liked the line of, you congratulate me for going to the main event scene. We'll see if you could cut a promo with the big dogs, kid. Here's my promo. How do you do? You know, calling him a bitch, saying that his wife is a bigger star than him. Did a great job. The only thing I would have changed, because, you know, when he gets really intense to the camera, he goes, look in my eyes. And I really would have liked if he would have said, and what do you see? The person who's going to take your World Heavyweight Championship. Not sing the whole entire chorus of Colton personality, but I think we could have had a little bit of cheese in that, going, look at my eyes and what do you see? You see the man who's going to take your World Championship. But no, he didn't that. He just said, you look in the eyes. You look in my eyes. This is a pure badass. He's going to kick your ass. And then he slams the mic. And boom, that was it. Very, very good stuff. Even Logan Paul was like, woo! Like, you just saw him getting really, really hyped up about it. And then we did everything we did with the Judgment Day. Dominic coming out, inviting Liv Morgan back out, saying, hey, we're gonna re-go for the gold. And a lot of people, my friend even texted me, goes, I'm so over the Judgment Day. I was like, I think this is the start of them ending. Because if you look at their facials, because Finn Balor looked really upset. Roxanne Perez is doing a really good job of I'm trying to be a good co-worker, but I really don't like our new boss, like, at all. Like, she's doing that really good of a bit for it. So I think it's going to be one of those things where we're going to try to play nice. Surely after the Rumble, they break up, and it's Balor versus Dominic for the IC title. I think that needs to be the program. Let's draw a line under it. And again, do Cody versus Randy as well, because all that dude does now is show up, look at the title, and then leave. So we'll keep our eye out for that, but really good program with that too. And I like how, again, we made sure we kept Liv Morgan present throughout the whole way through. She had her little moment with Stephanie Vaquer as well. And then we get into our women's tag team segment. And boy, we really focused this night on this division quite a bit, didn't we? Because we opened up the show at the top with Rhea and Io Sky. Alexa and Charlotte coming out, go, hey, okay, yeah, no, y'all can go for the tag title, sure. But not until we get our shot first. We are the former champs, and we haven't gotten our rematch yet. Rhea going, well, y'all can't even beat them. So, no, we're going to go ahead and jump the line. Y'all get in the back. Oh, really? Okay, now let's have a fight about it. Presumably, this is going to be for the number 1 contenders match. Throughout the night, you're seeing, which I found really funny, because, you know, Ivy Nile comes in and goes, I demand an IC title match. And Adam is like, yeah, sure, no problem. But Maxine is training with Natalya. Good vignette for that, by the way. I thought this cinematography was done very well on that, too. Like the whole buy of, again, get out of my ring, you ain't worth nothing. And then Maxine going, again. I thought that was really, really good stuff. But yeah, with Ivy Nile, no problem. You get a title match, even though you disappear from television for like 7 months. And then here come Bayley and Lyra going, title shot? Let me look. Let me look. I gotta reevaluate everything. I was like, Adam, you're not consistent whatsoever. Wow. I would be asking for a trade to SmackDown with that. Like, oh, okay, Ivy Nile, who hasn't shown up for 7 months, gets a title match. But here we are. We've been here every single week. Well, at least featured on television. And you gotta think about it? Man, get out of here, man. Having the moment with Asuka and Bayley, too, very good back and forth between them. I thought that was done very well. Then, of course, our main event with Rhea and Io taking on Alexa and Charlotte. Really liked the match. The only thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the whole Charlotte accidentally hitting Rhea. And, I mean, it worked. The crowd went, oh, like, you know, they actually got really surprised. And, like, we were selling as, oh, that was a mistake. You're fighting. Like, what? There's no mistake in that. Okay, you got in the way. Like, you're in this match. You're going to get hit. Like, it's just not just because you're legal. Like, tag teams get hit all the time. And then we did it later where Rhea hit Charlotte as well. And, you know, Charlotte and Rhea acted like it was an accident, but then she sold it better. Like, there was no need for the, ooh, I'm so sorry bit. You're in a fight. It's a tag team match. You're going to get hit. But besides that, I thought the back and forth was really good. I was actually really buying into it. Until WWE does what they always do, and that was the DQ finish. But they are immediately redeemed themselves as well. Because the Kabuki Warriors come out, they attack everyone, you know, the lane race. Then here comes Lyra and Bayley, and they're having their back and forth. And then here come the Judgment Day. They're beating each other, they waylace, they grab the titles, And I actually really liked the bit of Roxanne handing the title to Liv, and then Liv going like, I'm going for the world title. You got the tag here. I endorse y'all. We're coming for all the gold, and then that's how Monday Night Raw goes off the air. If I had to assume, again, on that January 5th show, we are going to do a Fatal 5-Way, maybe a ladder match for those tag team titles. Again, let's just really boast up these two shows, whether it be the January 3rd SmackDown or the January 5th Monday Night Raw. But yeah, let's get ladders in there. Have these 5 teams really duke it out. It feels very healthy. The women's tag team division is going to climb up a couple of spots when it comes to the rankings. That will be coming on Saturday. I was going to try to do it for Wednesday, but it's just not in the cards. I'm still trying to recover from Thanksgiving. My mom is still here. She doesn't leave until this weekend as well. So there'll be an opportunity for it this coming weekend for sure. But yeah, overall, very good episode of Monday Night Raw. We went about 15 minutes here, 16 minutes now. But, that's just due to how much good content there was on this episode. There was just a lot to talk about and things I wanted to discuss. Sometimes it's just very, some things happen here and, it was fine. It was good. Wish it could be a little bit better. Was this Raw epic? I would overall say no. But, again, promoters are going to promote. And we can't fault Triple H for trying to promote his show. But I do say he did bang out a very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw. But that's all for what I have to say about it. What do you think about this episode? Comment below, let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you made this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.